Assalamu alaikum dear students and welcome to this channel. Today's topic is about transport of carbon dioxide in the blood. So question is, what is carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is a product, metabolic product, which is produced at tissues, and then it has to be removed out of the tissue into blood. Then from the blood it is exhaled out by the lungs out of the body. So carbon dioxide is basically transported by three different ways. It is transported as bicarbonate ion. It is transported as carboxyhemoglobin, and some amount of carbon dioxide is dissolved in plasma. These are the means of transportations. How much amount of carbon dioxide is transported as a bicarbonate ion? That is 70% carbon dioxide is transported as a bicarbonate ion. 23% of carbon dioxide is transported as carboxyhemoglobin, while remaining 7% is transported as dissolved in with plasma proteins. So to understand the transportation of carbon dioxide into blood, there is a basic idea about partial pressure. So let's have an overview about transportation of carbon dioxide. At tissue level, carbon dioxide is produced, then it diffuses into the blood, carbon dioxide diffuses into blood, and then it is transported in these forms. And when carbon dioxide reaches at lungs, then it diffuses into alveoli. So question is, why carbon dioxide diffuses from tissue into blood? There is a difference of partial pressure. P stands for partial pressure, and arrow up shows that high partial pressure of carbon dioxide in tissue, and there is low partial pressure of carbon dioxide in blood. So as a result, carbon dioxide diffuses from tissue to blood and it moves in these forms. When it reaches at lungs, so there is more partial pressure of carbon dioxide in blood, and there is a less partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the lungs, and carbon dioxide comes out of the blood and then it is exhaled out by the lungs. So this is an overview. So let's have actually how carbon dioxide is move in the bicarbonate ion, how bicarbonate ion is formed. So at tissue, carbon dioxide is produced. A red color shows RBC. This is RBC, and outside the RBC, that is plasma. When the carbon dioxide diffuses from tissue into plasma, and then carbon dioxide enter into the RBC, where carbon dioxide reacts with water in the presence of an enzyme. That enzyme is known as carbonic anhydrase, and as a result, carbonic acid is formed. This carbonic acid is unstable. Again, this splits into its component, that is bicarbonate ion and H positive ion mean hydrogen ion in the presence of carbonic anhydrase. Ca stands for carbonic anhydrase. This H positive ion, which actually decreases the pH, mean it decreases the pH of the blood, but it doesn't happen. Why? H positive ion reacts with hemoglobin, which carries the oxygen, and as a result oxygen is released and hemoglobinic acid is formed. Hemoglobinic acid is formed and carbon oxygen is released. Where it is released? It is released to the tissue. And you can see in RBC the hemoglobin which carries the oxygen, no oxygen is released to the tissue, no hemoglobin is free. And with this hemoglobin, carbon dioxide attaches in and it is transported as carboxyhemoglobin. This H positive ion reacts with hemoglobin and that gives hemoglobinic acid. And what happens with HCO3 bicarbonate ion? This bicarbonate ions comes out of the RBC, while from the plasma there is chloride ion. This chloride ions moves into RBC. This movement occurs by a specific proteins which are present in the membrane of RBC. These protein are known as bicarbonate chloride carrier. You can see this is opposite movement of HCO3 and chloride ion. This opposite movement is known as chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena. Hamburger's phenomena. It is opposite movement of chloride ion into RBC and bicarbonate ion into plasma. This actually occurs to maintain the ionic balance in plasma and as well as in the RBC. So here question arises, what happens with the pH of the blood? Blood pH never changes. Why? Because there is a buffer mechanism in which actually present inside the blood. What buffer mechanism do and how buffer mechanism actually help to maintain the pH of the blood? Actually you can see in RBC chloride ion reacts with potassium and that gives potassium chloride, and in plasma HCO3 bicarbonate ion reacts with sodium and that gives sodium bicarbonate. And this mechanism is known as buffer mechanism of blood. Buffer mechanism of blood. And what is the function of this buffer mechanism? The function of this buffer mechanism is to maintain pH. Maintain pH of blood. And the blood pH, that is 7.4. So when the carbon dioxide is transported into the blood, then it reaches at the lungs. And what happens when it reaches at the lungs? You can see the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, that is higher, and the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is lower. So carbon dioxide diffuses into the blood, and when it reaches at the lung, the carbon dioxide which is transported into these forms, these three forms, again it comes back to its original form, then it diffuses out of the blood into the alveoli. Let's have a look. It is capillary wall. These are the alveoli which are present in lungs, and red color indicates RBC. H positive ion, which actually dissociates from hemoglobinic acid, and hemoglobin is also formed. This reacts with bicarbonate ion. This bicarbonate ion comes from the plasma, this one, and it reacts with H positive ion in the presence of enzyme, that is carbonic anhydrase, and gives again, that is carbonic acid. And the chloride ion which are present in the RBCs, this chloride ion comes out of the RBC into plasma. It is plasma. And H2CO3 means carbonic acid forms water plus carbon dioxide in the presence of carbonic anhydrase. So this carbon dioxide, it comes out of the RBC and diffuse into plasma. Then there is a high partial pressure in the blood, high partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and the carbon dioxide diffuses into the alveoli. Why? Because there is low partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is exhaled out of the lungs. So this is the transportation of carbon dioxide in the form of these carbonate ions, carboxyhemoglobin, and dissolved protein. Movement of and transport of how actually carbon dioxide is transported at a carboxyhemoglobin. Carbon dioxide actually attach with globulin part of hemoglobin. You can see a black color, actually it is globin part of protein, that is we can say amino acids, and blue color shows it is heme group. So carbon dioxide basically attach with globin part, mean protein, amino acid, attached with these protein molecules and is transported as carboxyhemoglobin. So this is all about the transportation of carbon dioxide. Thank you very much.